when I say my heart was like beating so fast, because I'm like, is he following me? Like it. What's up, family, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, click the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. So as you guys read by the title, I'm going to be giving you guys another story time. My story times on this channel is like a big thing. My first story time ever about like my college roommate, which I'm going to do a part 2 to that because a lot of people misunderstood what I was saying, but that got over 100,000 views. And then my story time about what happened to me at my old job, that got over 200, like I think it's at like 237k right now. That's insane. Like, you guys are loving my story times. They always do well, and I got a lot of stories, so why not say another one? As you guys read by the title, this one's about to be a crazy one, so just stay tuned for that. But before we get started, please give this video a big thumbs up. Also comment down below. Don't forget to turn on that post notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a new video. Don't forget to follow me on my social media accounts, and just don't forget to thumbs up this video. So before we get started, just thumbs up this video if you're ready, and also comment down below and say I'm ready, just so I can know that who's here, who's gang, who's prepared, who's listening to what I'm saying. I do respond to comments and I do interact, so let's have a little chit chat in the comments. Also comment down below some stories if you have similar stories to my crazy ass stories that I always have. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Yo, I just did my hot girl playlist, so if I look like I'm like hot, I am. Like, I was twerking and stuff, but stay tuned for that video. That video should be out probably, I don't know, before this one or after, but it's coming out. But let's just get right into the story. If you guys did not watch my last story time about my manager and him sexually assaulting me and stuff like that, go ahead and check that video out. I was reading the comments. You guys were giving me like the best like heartfelt comments ever. There was a few people that was like you know, trolls, but majority of the comments were like great, good comments, giving advice. We're having girl talk, chit chat, blah 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 blah. So one of the comments, I noticed somebody said that they were followed on a train, and then there was another one about an Uber driver story. I have both of those stories. I'll probably tell the Uber one a different time, but I have a train story of me being almost kidnapped on the train. So I was like, how old was I? Maybe 14 or 15, and I was catching the train going to like modeling practice, because like I used to be in fashion shows and stuff like that, and I had to go to practice. Usually my mom would take me to my practices, but this particular practice was like far away from my house. It wasn't that far, but it was like a 45-minute drive, and my mom was not driving me 45 minutes. So she's like, just catch the train, like you're big enough now, you're 15, like you should be able to catch the train. So I'm like, okay, whatever, get on the train. So so I'm on a train on my way to the modeling practice. I'm just on my phone, got my AirPods, well not even AirPods, they were out, but earphones in or whatever, listen to music, and I just noticed some guy like directly in front of me was staring at me the whole time. So I'm just like, what the heck? Like, why is this man staring at me? Mind you, like, I'm just not really paying no mind. Like, maybe he's looking in my direction, because if you guys, I don't know if it's just in Philly, I'm pretty sure it's other places, but like the trains, the chairs like face each other kinda. So like if you're sitting here, there's a person sitting on the other side, they can look directly at you. It was like that type of situation, but he was like 15 feet away. So he was like basically almost at the other cart, and I just can feel him just staring at me. So I'm like, I looked up and I'm like looking down at my phone, and I'm just like, what the like, why is this man staring at me? So I started to look around, because like it was like awkward. I'm like, why is he just staring at me? Like, it's like the weirdest thing. And so I looked back down at my phone, and I like peeked up, and he still was staring at me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? So I'm like, okay, let me just be on my phone and stuff like that. So I'm scrolling on Instagram or Twitter or wherever I was on social media, and I looked back up after probably like 5 minutes, and he was closer, like at a different seat, still staring at me. So I'm like, yo, like he is being weird as hell. And my mom always told me, like, if you're on a train and if you get a weird vibe, just get off and get on another cart, because you know the trains be coming like every 2 minutes, so it's like you're not gonna really be off your schedule. Just get off the train. So I was just thinking, I'm like, like I have like 10 more stops, like should I just get off the train now or just ride it out? So he just was super, like he was not even trying to hide the fact that he was staring at me. Like he's just like, and I'm like what? So fast forward, I'm like, okay, I'm about to just get off the train. So I pack all my stuff up and I'm like standing towards the door waiting for the doors to open. He gets up out of his seat and he's acting like he's about to get off. So I'm like, oh, he's getting off at this stop, so let me sit back down. I sat back down. He sits back down. When I say my heart was like beating so fast, because I'm like, is he following me? Like it was almost like, is this a coincidence or is this man following me? Like it was like the weirdest thing. So I'm still just like, oh my god, like I think this man is following me. So I stand back up. So one stop goes and I stand back up and I'm doing the same thing, like, okay, this man is being super weird, so I'm getting off the train. So I get off the train. He gets off of the train, like literally follow, like it's like he's following me, but he's not near me. He's like about 10 feet away, but he's doing everything I'm doing. When I get up, he gets up. When I sit down, he sits down. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get off the train. So I got off the train and I just was standing there waiting, and he was standing there waiting as well, like off. And as soon as the doors was like, doors are closed, I hurried up and ran back because I wanted to trick him. Why did this man run back as well? Like he literally was following me. Like as soon as I got off, and I was like, all right, he gonna think I'm getting off, so let me trick him. As soon as the doors was about to close, I run back on, he runs back on. I really, like, my heart dropped. Like if it did not drop before, it definitely dropped in, because now I knew for a fact like this man was following me on the train. Like he was following me. So what happened next? So now I'm texting my mom. I don't know, I think I text my mom or my friend. I was texting somebody and I'm like, I'm being followed on this train, like, and I'm explaining like every time I get off, this man is following me. So my mom, I think it was my mom, because she was like, just get off and go on another cart. And I'm like, I tried that and he's following me. So like the next stop came, I was like, okay, let me try this again. So I get up, I hurry up and try to like run off, and he does the same exact thing. Like he just kept, every time I get off the train he would get off, I get it back on, he would get back on. So this time I got back off the train again, and I tried to wait a little bit longer. So I was acting like I was going away, like about to leave, and as soon as the door was about to close, I ran back in quick. Why did this man also run back in? Like he was following like every move. So at this point my guard is like up. Like I'm like, okay, this man is trying to kidnap me. So which is weird because we're on a train with hundreds of people, thousands probably, and it's like, why would you even try to do something stupid with cameras, lights, raw day? Like it, sometimes people just don't think, they just get high or drunk, or they just make up any old thing. But so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna stay on this train until it's time to go, because it's better for me to stay on the train with people versus me just getting off and waiting for the next train with just me and him. And now I have nobody to help me basically. So I stay onto the train, and finally I got to my stop. So I got off the train. He got right off the train as well. So I start walking like super fast, like speed walking through crowds of people. Like imagine a crowded train like station. So I'm like walking so fast with like my duffel bag, my book bag, like my purse. I had all this stuff on me, and I'm just walking like super fast. And I'm like looking back, and he's speed walking as well. So I'm like, oh my god, like I'm starting to like tear up. I'm like, yo, this man is trying to get me. Now that I'm looking back, I don't really know. I never stopped for help. Like, man, can you help me? This man, like, I don't know why I never did that. It's just my thought was like, just get away. So I'm like going through the train. Mind you, I don't really, at that time I didn't really catch the train, so I didn't really even know about the train. And this particular train I was catching the sub. So like in Philly there's like the L train, and then there's a sub. And hello? So in Philly there's like the L train, and then there's like the sub, and of course we have like Charlies and stuff like that. But I'm more familiar with like the L, like even to this day, although I haven't caught the train in years, but I know how to use the L. Like it's just from West Philly to Northeast, like, and that's just basically it. But the sub is like Southwest, and I never really went to those places, or I needed to go to those places, so I really don't really know anything about the sub, and I didn't know definitely back then. So I had to get on the sub. So like in the train, like when you get off the L, you have to like go through the station and then like go down some steps. So it was like so much stuff that you have to get to the next train. So I'm sitting there like basically running, and I just kept looking back, and he's right behind me, like on my heels, like still 10 feet away. Like he was keeping his distance, which was also really weird, but we're still like, I can see him, he can see me. So I'm like walking, like scared to death. And like I go down the steps and I'm like skipping steps and everything, like basically telling people like move, like get out of my way, I have to get away from this man. And he's like on my tail, like walking so fast. I'm like, this don't even look like the way he was supposed to go. Like, so I go down the steps and I try to like hide behind the wall. So when I went down the steps, I was like hide behind like the wall so he like wouldn't know where I was. And I just see him going like this, like he was looking for me. He's just like, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So then I thought like I lost him basically, so I started walking again, and when I look back, he found my ass again, and we're like really like having like a race at this point. Like I'm speed walking, like trying to get away, he's following me. And then it just so happened that I seen my cousin, who was also one of the girls who was in the fashion show at that time. I see her and I like grabbed her so tight and I'm like, don't leave me or whatever. She's like, what's going on, like what's wrong? And the man walks by, and I guess he's seen that I was with somebody, so he was like, hey beautiful, how are you? And then he just kept walking and like looked back and was like smiling and stuff. And I'm like, if my cousin never was there, like he would have definitely kidnapped me and did God knows what to me on that train. Like seriously, like I was so glad that I found somebody that I knew, because it's like I really don't know what I would have done. Like why was he following me the entire time? And then as soon as he seen me with my cousin, he stopped and said, hey beautiful. It's like, it's not like he was trying to get my number, because it's not that deep to get my, like this was a grown man. He had to be like 35, 40. I was 15. He knew I was young. I looked like I was young. I think I had on probably my school uniform. And it was just like, he would have kidnapped me if my cousins were not there. There are really some sick men out here. Like they do not care the time, the place. Like I said, it was broad daylight, hundreds of people at a train station. He was attempting to kidnap me. Like clearly that was his intentions, to try to kidnap me, try to rape me, snatch me up. Like I knew that those were his, I knew that that was his intentions, because why would you follow me off the train? When I tried to hop off the train, hop back on, you were doing the same thing. You followed me down the steps. When I hid, you were looking. Who were you looking for? Like you didn't come with nobody. So it was just like, God was truly on my side. Like now that I'm looking back, it was like I really definitely should have asked for help. Like if you're watching this and a similar experience happened to you, or if it may happen to you, because stuff like this is really true and real. If you guys already watched my last story of me being kidnapped, because I was kidnapped before, this stuff is real. Like seriously, it's real. And the first thing you need to do is like seriously ask for help. Like I don't know why in neither one of my situations I never asked for help. Like I just try to do everything on my own, and that's like unsafe, because one, now nobody knows where you are or where your whereabouts are, or like what's going on, and two, you could it's better to have more people against one than just you. Me, a little 15-year-old girl with a grown man, like I would have lost. I didn't have no pepper spray, no mace, no keys to even cut them, because at this time I used to lose my keys as a kid all the time. My mom was like, I'm not giving you a key no more. So I didn't even have any type of protection on me. Like I can't believe that. Like just looking back, like God was truly like on my side. Like what are the odds of meeting your cousin at a particular point where you're about to be kidnapped? Like what are the odds of that? Like that's just crazy. But that basically completes the story of me almost being kidnapped on a train. I definitely have another story about my Uber driver who took me across the bridge to New Jersey when I was going somewhere in Philly. But that's a whole another story. Like I had some crazy ass experiences with kidnapping, grown men, pedophiles. Like my life is truly crazy, and you guys seem to love it because you guys love these story times, so I'm gonna keep on bringing them up. I'm gonna add the link somewhere up on the screen of all my other like story times, like a whole playlist of my story times, so you guys can go check them out because you guys seem to love them. And yeah, so that basically completes the end of today's video. If you liked it, please give the video a big thumbs up. Also comment down below. Don't forget to turn that post notification bell. Don't forget to add me on all my social media accounts. Links are always in the description box. We are rolled to 10K, y'all. We're at 7 point something right now. I think 7.2. I don't know. 7.2K family members. Like this is crazy. Like I started my channel from the bottom. We're working our way up. And yeah, so just stay with me. Join the fam if you have not already. And I will see all you guys in my next video.